It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in each and every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. Well, this week's Raw was shitty. I really did not like it at all. It was boring. Nothing really happened, and the UK crowd, I don't know if it was edited, I don't know if it just didn't come off well on TV, but I thought it sucked. You know, normally the UK crowd is amazing, normally it's a lot of fun, but this week it really was not. It was very, very disappointing, and I just didn't really dig Raw that much at all, to be honest. So, I don't know, man, it just wasn't a great week on Monday Night Raw, but nonetheless, plenty of news and rumors to talk about in today's episode. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first one is from XHD. He wants to know, what do you think about the stipulations in the Extreme Rules World Title match? To be honest, I do like them. I see why people might be like, okay, because steel cage matches in recent years have really sucked. They've really gone from a great match, like, oh yeah, steel cage, here we go, to a, oh man, really, steel cage? Really? You know, it's a bit of a, you know, the prestige and the credibility of a steel cage has suffered so much in recent years, and I guess a lot of people just don't really care for them anymore. But when you think about it, storyline wise, a steel cage match actually makes the most sense. You know, Randy Orton has so much trouble, you know, fighting off J&J Security, Kane, Big Show, the Authority's always interfering. Why not have a steel cage match where it's just Randy and Seth one-on-one? Makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. And as for the RKO getting banned, well, that's a good stipulation for Seth Rollins to have as well, because, you know, obviously the RKO beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, so maybe if there's no RKO, Seth can obviously feel as though he can beat Randy Orton. So I do like the stipulation, it makes sense, and I think it probably will make for a pretty good match. I think those two guys will tear it up again. I really liked their WrestleMania match, and obviously I think that was the greatest RKO of all time when he did that. So hopefully they could do something as cool, if not even bigger than that. Maybe we will see the return of the punt kick, and if that's true, that'll be pretty cool. But if there's no RKO, you know, what's Randy's finisher going to be? If there's no RKO, there's no punt kick. I'm just thinking, what's Randy going to use to finish Seth Rollins? I don't know. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with the stip. Sounds pretty good to me. Next one's from Ryan the Infinite. There are rumors of Great Khali returning to the WWE. Your thoughts? Oh my god, please no. That is simply my thoughts. Please no. The WWE does not need a 40-year-old 7-foot giant who arguably can barely walk, can barely wrestle, to come in and, you know, stink the joint up even more. I mean, what was he doing before he left? He was dancing with Natalia. Was it with Natalia, or was that a couple of years ago? I don't know, but he was doing absolutely nothing. It was just a joke. And do we really need him? No. Has he been missed since he's been gone? No. Is there anybody honestly saying, yes, please bring back the Great Khali? God, I hope not. So nobody really wants to see him again. He's done everything there is to do in the WWE. I mean, he had a decent start. I mean, he was a good heel at the beginning, and now, I mean, it's just beyond a joke. You know, the guy can barely walk, so just stay in India, please. Just do yourself a favor. Go do some movies in India. I mean, the guy is a monster, and, you know, just for his health, it just feels wrong watching him in the ring, you know. I just go, ugh, what is this guy doing? He's just obviously just trying to, you know, make as much money as he can, and, you know, apparently he didn't want to leave. You know, he went away to work on some thing in India. I can't remember what exactly it was, some school or something like that. And now he wants to come back, but really, just keep him gone, please. You know, we've got so many great talent in NXT. Bring them up. I mean, I know they're no freak of nature like the Great Khali, but do we really need Khali back? No, we don't. So we've already got Mark Henry, Kane, Big Show stinking up the joint. You know, as the old-time veterans, we don't need any more. So just keep them away. Keep Khali back at home. Next one's from Greg Hadrill Gaming. What do you think about Smackdown switching to the USA Network in 2016? Well, obviously it has no real effect to me because I'm not American, so I don't even get the network or anything like that. But to me, I've always thought from an outsider perspective, why are these two shows on two different networks? I mean, the same company, shouldn't they have it all on the one network? Because to me, if I'm a casual viewer and I think, okay, Raw's on the USA Network, alright, let's tune into Smackdown, and you go, well, wait a minute, where is it? You know, you would probably initially assume it'd be all on the same network, so that always kind of confused me. I know in Australia we have the same, we have Raw and Smackdown, I think we have everything in the WWE on the one network, so I don't really know why they always had it on the different networks. Obviously the USA Network, I believe, is a bigger network, so I think it's just a win-win for the WWE. Same network, bigger network, and I think it's just a good move. But the rumor is that they're going to try and make SmackDown good again. I mean, we heard that rumor when they were going to switch to Thursday nights. Look how that turned out. So I certainly would take that with a grain of salt. I really don't think they're ever going to do anything with SmackDown again. I haven't watched SmackDown in years. I might have seen like one episode of SmackDown in the last 2 or 3 years in its entirety because I was bored. But other than that, if I get bored, I literally do not even think about watching SmackDown. That'd probably be on number 50 on my list. I think I would rather, you know, study or, you know, do an assignment or something like that before I watch SmackDown. That's how bad it is these days. It literally is just a waste of time to watch it. So nothing ever happens on it. And if they really want to improve their ratings, they got to improve the show quality. If they're worried about their sci-fi Thursday night ratings and going, well, why is it, we thought the move to sci-fi, or sorry, we thought the move to Thursdays on this network would have been great for us, why is this not working? It's because the show sucks. It has no meaning. Nothing ever happens. I mean, SmackDown at one point used to be the shit. I was a SmackDown guy. Trust me, I was. But now I wouldn't be seen dead watching that shit. It's horrible. So if they really want to improve their ratings, they've got to actually make the show watchable in the first place. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, why don't we just make NXT that slot? You know, give NXT that time. I mean, look how big NXT would be. That's a fair point, but, you know, I just don't think that'll ever happen. And they're going to keep trying to push SmackDown, and it's just always going to be the B show. And it definitely is right now a B show, and it's shown in, you know, its representation. There's no differences between Raw and SmackDown, and that's the problem. You know, I mean, they could at least have some different storylines, highlight and put some focus on some different wrestlers, you know, have some mid-card guys who aren't on Raw, have them on SmackDown, get them a little bit more focus, you know, do some more of the tag teams, you know, things like that. Make the shows different and have different things going on in both shows and make both shows interesting. Whereas it's just Raw, okay, everything happens on Raw, and then on SmackDown, yeah, we'll continue a boring-ass feud, and we'll just do the same match. And then the next week on Raw, we'll do exactly the same match that we had on SmackDown, and we'll put it on Raw anyway. So it's just absolutely pointless, and at this point, who really cares what network it's on? Who really cares about SmackDown? It's dead. It's done. It's not savable. I just think, you know, they're never really going to take it seriously, and because of that, SmackDown will never be good in the ratings. And, you know, the show quality certainly reflects in the ratings. The only reason why they get a decent rating as it is because it has the WWE logo on it. If, you know, realistically, you know, if a TNA or someone like that or a Lucha Underground was having that network, doing that show quality, their ratings would be gone. They would get cut from the network. That's how bad that show is, in my opinion. This next one is from Ramsey Keegan. He wants to know, do you think Kane will turn face soon? And do you think Team Hell No might reunite sometime this year? Look, to be honest with you, Kane turning face, who really cares? I mean, he's been a heel for a couple of years now, so maybe a face turn would be a good thing, and they kind of teased it tonight. And I know the crowd was just absolutely terrible tonight, so I wouldn't really, you know, go on what they thought. I mean, they were absolutely dead for the Kane segment, so I thought the segment was pretty cool. I actually liked what they did, and, you know, Kane, you know, going, oh, should I do it? Should I not? Should I betray them? Should I not? He hits a chokeslam on Rollins in the end, and, you know, he does what's best for business, but, you know, it's a little bit of a tease, so I did like that. As for Team Hell No, no chance. Please just keep Bryan away from Kane. You know, Bryan is, at the time, Bryan really needed Kane, and that really elevated and launched Daniel Bryan. He was doing well, but when he got with Kane, he went to the whole next level. But now he is way above Kane. He doesn't need Kane. If anything, Kane would need Bryan. But we don't need to see that again. It's done. Let's move on. Let's not try and, you know, let's not try and do it again and, you know, just ruin it. I mean, we've seen it before, we loved it before. There's no need to beat a dead horse. There's no need to bring it back for no good reason, you know, just for something for them to do. There's no need. So, Kane turning face, sure. Team Hell no, please no. Next one's from Sports Talk 1999. Who do you think will win Money in the Bank this year? An early prediction of mine, I'm going with Dean Ambrose. He's been my pick. I think Ambrose could win. I've also got Ambrose down for the Royal Rumble, but I think he's going to win one of the two. So I don't know which one he's going to win. I don't know if they're going to push him this soon or they're going to wait till the Royal Rumble. But I feel as though Ambrose is going to get that big spot at some point. And a lot of you guys actually asked me that question this week. I don't know why the Money in the Bank talk so early, but that's my early prediction so far. Next one's from Bashka. How long do you think until Hideo Itami gets called up? I hope for not another year or something. I mean, we've got Neville, he's getting up. Finn Balor, I think, will be coming up very, very, very soon. And Sami Zayn's also a likely option. I think Zayn, though, probably might come in the end of the year, perhaps. So, they've already got plenty of talent called up. Hideo Itami, everybody said, oh, he's going to get called up because he got put in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, whatever. I knew that he was not getting called up. He's not ready. I mean, the guy is learning the English language. He's learning the American style. I mean, you know, the WWE style, quote-unquote. The guy is just working and he's just, you know, refining his craft and getting used to living in America and doing all those things and just having a good time in NXT. There's no real need to push him and rush him into this, you know, into the main roster. It's too early for him, and he's doing pretty good in NXT from what I see. Obviously, I don't watch NXT on a weekly basis. In fact, I don't watch the weekly shows at all. I like to watch the takeovers, that's about it. You know, I know I should, but I don't. But from what I've seen, he's doing okay. But to me, when I watch him, I just don't care for him. I watch and I go, Neville, he's the fucking man. Finn Balor, he's the man. Sami Zayn, he's pretty good. Kevin Owens, he's the man. Hideo Itami, I think, is the weak link. You know, not that he's not good in the ring or whatever, but I just see, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I just don't really care for him at the moment, so I hope he doesn't get called up for another year or so, and I don't think he will get called up for another year. And that might annoy a lot of fans, but to me, I think that's just the way to go. Just, they've already got other guys getting called up, you don't want him to get lost in the shuffle, so if they really truly think that he's going to be a star, well then wait until the right moment, and that's what they did with a lot of these guys, like the Shield guys. They waited and waited, and they brought him in the right time, and it worked. So there's no need to rush him into something that he's not ready for. This one's from Nicholas Rajak. Do you think there's a possible heel turn for the New Day, and how will that benefit their careers in the tag division? Look, the New Day has to turn heel. They are just absolutely dumb. The whole crowd is shitting on them every time they come out. I have absolutely zero care for them at all. I think they suck. You know, they honestly, New Day does suck. You know, they are terrible. The gimmick was never going to work. I could have told you months ago. As soon as they debuted, I knew that they were done. You know, I gave them, what, 2 or 3 weeks, and yeah, they had about a week and they were finished. So they were one of those types of gimmicks that were never going to work, and it was a shame because when they first did the first thing with Xavier Woods coming out, cutting that promo, you know, when dressed up as he was, you know, I actually thought, okay, this could go somewhere. This could actually be pretty good. And then they took him off TV, and they brought him back like 3 months later, and they're these dancing idiots, dancing, smiling idiots, and I don't know if they're religious, you know, they praise the church, or what. I don't know what they're doing. They're just 3 guys who like to dance, who like to smile, and are always happy. It's just like, what is this crap? It just sucks. It's just, not even the kids like it, and that's how bad it is. So a heel turn needs to happen. If they want to save these guys, it needs to happen. Even disbanding the group, I think at this point is pointless. I mean, at least you have these guys doing something. If you disband them, you know, these guys are just going to be job guys in the mid-cards. There's no point. So keep them as a group, just turn them heel, and change up the gimmick. Do something, make them more serious. This one's from the mercenary Roman Reigns. Who do you see Seth Rollins feuding with after Extreme Rules for the world title, and do you think Roman Reigns will become a world champion by the end of SummerSlam or 2015? Okay, so Seth Rollins, I mean, look at the options that we have. I mean, obviously the Reigns feud has kind of been, you know, the seeds have been planted for that. So if Randy doesn't win, which I don't think he will, obviously, you can straight away put Roman Reigns in there against him and, you know, do that. And maybe you can have a screwy finish at Extreme Rules, you know, maybe J&J climb this cage or do something to make Randy Orton lose, and then you can have a triple threat at, I think it's Payback's the next one, so you can do that. And then after that, maybe you can have a Reigns versus Rollins one-on-one match. I think it might be Battleground after that, maybe Money in the Bank, whichever one. So you can do that. So in my opinion, they're just going to drag it out. I mean, really, who else is there to kind of have him face? I mean, Daniel Bryan's, I think he's still Intercontinental Champion, right? So Daniel Bryan's doing that thing. Cena's doing the US title thing. So there's not a lot of top faces for him to really face at the moment. So it's probably going to be Reigns and Orton for a few months anyways, and probably some multi-man matches in between. And as for Roman Reigns, I still think he will be a WWE Champion. At this point, will he be one at SummerSlam? I would like to say yes, but I get the feeling they might change plans. I still think a Reigns win is the way to go, and you know, he still has a big future. So if it's not at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam would be the way to go. As long as they don't have him win at probably like a Hell in a Cell or, you know, one of those crappy pay-per-views. This one's from Sheepy. Always wondered if you could bring back one old school face and one old school heel to freshen things up. Who would it be and why? Well, it depends. What is old school? Is old school like from the 80s, or is old school like, you know, Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle, which would be the two men that I would bring back? So Jeff Hardy, obviously bring him back as a babyface. The kids loved him. He's still relatively young anyways, and you know, huge merchandise seller. Makes sense, you know, great for business. And you know, he was hell over, you know, he was doing great, and he can still go. For Kurt Angle, you know, you're probably wondering why bring him back as a heel. I probably wouldn't, to be honest. I would rather him be a face, but I really want either one of those two to come back. And Kurt Angle as a heel is amazing anyway. So Kurt Angle coming back would be fantastic. I see Jeff Hardy coming back, but I don't see Kurt Angle coming back at this point. So I think Kurt Angle, though, would just be a good veteran to come back, have one last run, put over some talent, you know, work with a Rusev or whatever. So I think that would work just from that point of view. But certainly there's not a lot of veterans that you can really bring back anymore, because most of those guys are pretty much done at this point. So, you know, Jeff Hardy is certainly one guy who would bring back with certainly market value, but Kurt Angle pretty much on his way out at this point. So there's not really a lot of guys you can bring back. So, okay guys, that will do it for today's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. This could be the last episode in this format. I'm thinking about taking it to a podcast. So this has been my plan for probably a day or now, not very long. I've just had a bit of a spur of the moment idea. I really want to do a podcast, and I feel as though Let's Talk Tuesdays is a great way to do that. And there's a lot of questions that I don't get into every week, and a lot of you guys ask me a lot of great questions that I just don't have the time to do. So I would like to take it into a podcast format, which would mean the YouTube videos that you're watching now would probably be about 45 minutes to an hour long, you know, and it wouldn't have any gameplay on it. It would just be a picture and then the audio, and then I would also upload it to iTunes, whatever else, you know, every podcast, you know, media format, I would upload it to all those. So wherever you get your normal podcast from, I would upload it there, and you guys can watch it and listen to it, I should say, whenever the hell you want. That's kind of what I want to do. I think it's a good way to kind of grow the BrendenPlayz brand as well, get a bit of a presence out there. And, you know, I just feel as though with my new microphone that I'm, by the way, using now, which I really, really love, I think it's a good way to kind of grow the channel and do something different as well, and kind of utilize what we've already got with a good foundation. I love Let's Talk Tuesdays, but there's a lot that I'm not getting into, and I love doing this every single week, but I would like to answer some more questions and go into some more detail. So maybe a 1-hour podcast could be the way to go for that idea. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Would you listen to it? Is it a good idea, or are you happy with the current format? Let me know. Obviously, you'd still get it on YouTube, so you can just click on and still listen to it as usual. It wouldn't be affected if you like to use YouTube, but you could also use it on iTunes and whatever else. So let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, if you want to leave a question for next week's episode, whatever format it may be, it will still be the question and answer kind of format. So leave your questions in the comment section down below, or you can do so at BrendenPlayz.com/forums. The link to the official thread will be in the description down below. Thanks guys for checking out this week's Let's Talk Tuesdays. Remember to leave a like on the video and also subscribe for more Let's Talk Tuesday videos coming up real soon. Thanks guys.